There is good reason that talented salespeople earn top dollar. And if you're wondering whether a career in sales is the right choice for you, you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to go over a case study between these two companies that demonstrates why sales is the most important business function, why salespeople get paid so much money, and all these things you hear about sales being a second-tier profession and sleazy salespeople. We're putting all that to bed, and I got numbers to support it. So first, who are these two companies, Palantir and Snowflake? It's not important that you know them to understand what I'm going to go over here, but we'll put up some basic stats about them. That Palantir was founded in 2003, Snowflake in 2012, and they're both data analytics platforms. That's a very watered down version. They essentially help companies gather data that exists throughout their organization that's not being put to use, centralize it, make sense of it, and then act on it and make smart decisions. So Palantir was founded 9 years before Snowflake. They've had 9 years extra to build out their platform. They've had more investment, and most industry specialists would argue that Palantir has the industry-leading platform, the superior platform. It's used in some of the largest organizations in the world. It's used by the US government in very high-stress situations. They rely on Palantir. But both of these companies took very different approaches to growing their company, and that's what I want to go over today because it's fascinating. So we're going to go over Palantir first. So we'll look at some stats here, because Palantir decided that salespeople were not important to their business because they had such a good platform and that the technology would sell itself. So up until 2020, these are not hard numbers, but from what I could find, Palantir did not have a sales force. Their CEO was essentially their only salesperson. I guess they considered a couple other executives as salespeople, but they essentially did not have salespeople. And this is actually a direct quote from the CEO. This was said in 2017, so they'd been a company for 14 years at this point. The only way I'd hire a sales team was if I were forced to by investors or if I were hit by a bus. Almost everyone here is an engineer. I'm a PhD in philosophy, and we have no salespeople. He was also quoted saying that other companies are really good at selling technology. We're actually good at making it. That sounds nice and noble when he says it, but let's look at some of the numbers here. In 2023, this year, they're expected to grow 15%. They're going to do about $2 billion in revenue, and the value of the company is $17 billion. So after 20 years, this is what they've amounted to. Pretty good. Industry-leading platform, massive company. They're growing relatively fast, and they haven't done it without a sales team. So what's there not to like? Well, let's take a look at Snowflake. We'll put up some of the same numbers. In 2020, Snowflake took a different approach and had a massive sales force. They had about 1,200 people, and it's continued to grow since then. In 2023, this year, they're also going to do about $2 billion in revenue. So they have caught up to Palantir in revenue, except they're growing almost 3 times faster. They're growing at a way faster clip than Palantir, and in just a few years, they're expected to have double the revenue of Palantir, despite having an inferior product in the eyes of a lot of people in the market. And as a result of growing 3 times faster, the value of their company is almost 3 times larger. They're a $50 billion company. Palantir is a $17 billion company, the way that they're valued. So these 1,200 people were the difference between 17 billion and 50 billion. That's a $33 billion increase by having an effective sales org. And what I put here is that Snowflake understands how business actually gets done. This is why salespeople are so important. Companies that make it easiest for their customers to buy and justify their purchase internally will win the business. That's what Palantir does not understand. You can't just make something great, put a sign in your front yard, and expect everyone to flock to you. If someone at a company that wanted to buy Palantir went to their boss and said, "Hey, I got a good idea. Let's implement Palantir. Let's install Palantir into our business." What questions are they going to get asked by their boss? Okay, good idea. How long is that going to take to implement it? Who's going to implement it? What are the tangible business benefits that we're going to experience? Can you quantify that? No, because I don't have a salesperson at Palantir to help me build that business case. But at Snowflake, I do. That's what Snowflake understands. The way business gets done in this country is you need a salesperson to help guide and justify a business case internally to justify the purchase. So even though Snowflake's product is considered inferior or not as robust as Palantir's, the market has voted and chosen Snowflake, and it's not even close. And the reason is because of salespeople. So those 1,200 people made the difference of billions of dollars. And again, these are not exact numbers. I did the best I could, but essentially the message you want to take away is that Palantir did not invest or think highly of salespeople, and Snowflake did. And now in 2023, if you look at Palantir, they are rapidly trying to grow their sales force because they learned their lesson. The CEO learned his lesson. He's not saying quotes like this anymore because they recognize that Snowflake is eating their lunch, even though they believe they have the superior product, and they probably do, but that doesn't matter. That's why salespeople exist. That's why we get paid. And if you're a top sales rep and you're considered top sales talent, you will always be in high demand. You will always be able to command high pay, high income potential. And that's why it's such a great career. So this was a tech sales example, but this is the case for any industry. Salespeople are often the difference between subpar performance and outstanding performance. So remember that. We work in a great profession. We're incredibly important to businesses. Nothing happens in this world without someone selling something to someone else. We're the ones that make that happen. We got to help build these business cases. It's a lot of work, but if you get good at it, it's very fulfilling and very high paying. So hope you enjoyed this one. Hope this helps motivate you, and I will see you in the next one.